I wrote that so damn long ago, but I've never forgotten. It's a very strange way I wrote that. You know, I was painting in the studio, and all of a sudden I went over the typewriter and I wrote this thing out. I read it over once. I didn't quite understand what I was doing or what I had in mind. And I destroyed it, but I've never forgotten it. Well, sometimes when I get too many drinks in me, but I've recited it probably 100 times to different people. But it starts off, shadows lengthen like stretching time as the sun sinks low in the empty sky. The street was long and lonely, and my footsteps echoed back like an old worn-out clock I picked from habit rather than use. Am I half mad that I search for her? Search for one that I had never seen, for one that I have no proof exists in this life? Yet she must exist. Leaves drop one by one. Autumn leaves, made more red by the low reflected sun, like drops of blood from a dying tree that dropped to earth that seems to welcome them. They will decay. And the divorce will end, but I can feel more like as us, separated for a fleeting moment in the eon of time. Then returns again to be the earth, without glorious, even the wind. What more freedom could there be than the original state of things? I wondered. My thoughts went back to her. Where did we err? Hundreds, perhaps thousands of times I'd watched her change. Changed from the pout of Helen, more concerned with a bit of a toga of the Greek army. I knew as a girl in the streets and slums of Paris. There was a lady in English courts. But regardless of name, it was always my love. I would know her in any guise once to rise, and that this world of time would slip away. And the dim past would flash to brightness, filling our minds with the overwhelming joy of our first love. I stopped. The air at my feet died, and darkness had taken the cities, lights down the buildings, people prepared for the night. I was filled with loneliness, and my thoughts went back to the beginning, to the very beginning, to the creation. There was nothing. Blackness without the thought of light. Space without time, without direction. And in this nothingness came a thought, created by itself. And in turn came other thoughts, created by the first and by the second. All these thoughts were one. One became aware. Now this awareness was a creator and the created for whatever thought was. Then came the thought of substance. And this thought was a song of light and the melody of space and time. It was the first an atom of light, an atom neither large nor small, for there was nothing which to compare. But this atom split. It burst into a billion specks, and dark space became a glow of stars. And the thought of beauty entered. The sight was beautiful to behold. The awareness was pleased, and the stars pleased, because they were one and the same. But a new thought came into being. Why not give substance to the awareness so that it might more thoroughly experience itself? There was us so. There was a world. This world swung about the star of the sun, so that all of creation could be surveyed from it. The turn, so part of the time it could be in the light of the sun, and the other half of the time view the magnificent float of space. Thus we came into existence. I came first unknown. It was night. And I stood on the beach of a lifeless world, a world without trees or plants, without the chirp of insects or the splash of fish. It was a void world, covered by shapeless rocks, sand and still water. And even the stars appeared to be cold, baleful orbs. I looked about and wondered, aware of my body, but I knew that I differed from motionless things about me. This I exist. I was alive, proposed by all things, but separated from all things is a dream, separated from a dream. I knew not why or how I came. I knew that I exist, but to exist was not enough. Loneliness came into being. And I knew that I was incomplete, and the loneliness grew to become unbearable. And I shrieked at the dark earth about me. I cried to the still sea. I pleaded for the barren land. I wailed to the unblinking ball above, for to exist was not enough. I threw myself to the ground, wept, cried with my heart, with every fiber of my body, and shook with such pathos that all things were touched. There was a rumbling, and the earth shook, and from a blinding light she appeared. We came together like two half things that become one when united. Then love was born. Then the world became alive. There were trees and grass with walking things and crawling things, and those that flew and those that swam. There was a breeze, and the waves lapped over the surface of the sea, and the stars twinkled and gave forth the ethereal music that those who loved can hear. We loved, and all the universe loved with us. We loved not only ourselves as one, but all things as one. When the sun rose on our first day, we found the world even more beautiful than the mysterious charm of night. The pink dawn lay tall mountaintops, and birds took flight even higher with the fluffy clouds that lazily drifted overhead, changing their colors through the dawn. I looked into her eyes and found them even more beautiful than the sky. I kissed her soft hair, her wondrous red lips, her soft breast. How wonderful was that? And there was no right or wrong, and there was no such thing as evil. The mind of man that make good like two children in a magnificent paradise. Had we only known then